The All Smiling Faces podcast is now sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Always Smiling Faces podcast. And this is your extra show. This is a show that has gone out to members, first of all, as early access. This is a new feature, so stick with us just as we get it up and running. We are going to talk about something which really confused me today.
Oh, right, yeah. I was wondering what I thought, Christ, what we're going to do here.
It's been a discussion which a lot of fans and people in our WhatsApp and Telegram group have been talking about, probably when we started flirting and thinking we could get Champions League, around about then we thought, right, so last time we won the Champions League, we were quite comfortable when it came to like sort of homegrown players, and what is it, homegrown and club
trained. So you've got to have so many players trained at the club before they turn 21.
Yes,
3 years.
So Bestie has got the description. Bestie sent me this
earlier. From Football Manager.
This is how much information and how much we're diving into this topic. Bestie said, well, the reason why I know what it is because I get it from Football Manager. Yeah. So Bestie's going to tell us the definition as to what we are going to be talking about.
So according to Football Manager, the 2024, obviously the most recent iteration, because 25 went belly up, didn't it? For your Champions League squad, you need to have a minimum of 2 goalkeepers, which isn't going to be a problem for us.
Definitely not.
20 of them. A minimum of 4 players trained at the club for 3 years between their 15th and 21st birthdays. So that's going to be the one that trips up, or potentially trips up. Or plus a minimum of 8 players trained in the same nation for 3 years between their 15th and 21st birthdays. So that doesn't mean you've got to have like 14 different players. You could have a goalkeeper that was trained at the club.
Yeah.
And that would fit all 3 boxes. So, yeah.
So you need 8 players.
It's from 8 players from the same nation.
Goalkeepers.
Minimum.
Minimum of 2 goalkeepers. 4 have to be club trained
before they turn 21.
4 home trained, as in domestically.
4 trained at the club and 8 trained domestically.
Right, okay.
So basically 8 English players, or players that are so like Garnacho for Man U would be one because he's been trained. 4 players who were trained at the club for 3 years between their 15th and 21st birthday. So it could be someone from, I don't know, like these young lads who got from Ireland. I think as long as they were signed before their 18th birthdays and they stayed beyond that, so they can be out on loan during
Lewis Hall could potentially fall under that.
Theoretically, was he 17 when we signed or 18?
17, I want to say.
If it's 17, then yeah, he would fit.
So eventually he could fall in that bracket. After another expo season.
Another thing to do with that is if a player's under 21, this isn't in this bit, if a player's under 21, you don't need to register them. So Lewis Hall, I think, is still under 21. But because you don't need to register, so you've got to have a 25. It's a 25-man squad, right? Plus however many under 21 players you want to have. If Lewis Hall isn't 21 yet, you wouldn't need to pick him in your squad. But if you've only got 24 players in your squad, you can have 1 less. So because I think that theoretically you can use that space for an under 21 player.
I hope this is making sense to everybody.
Yeah, this is the point where I know what I'm trying to say, but it's getting confusing for me as well now. Like you could have 21 squad players with no players trained at the club, but you couldn't have anyone else. So if you try to pick a 22nd player, they must have been trained at the club for 3 years.
Yeah. So you limit yourself to a 21-man squad.
Yeah. So like Lewis Hall, if he's one, would be perfect. Sean Longstaff would qualify, and Neve, because I think he'd be on a 21 anyway. Who's the other one that we've been talking about? Lewis Miley, obviously still in the 21, but he would qualify as being trained at the club. Other ones for training at the nation, I mean, we're fine for that. You've got Nick Pope, you've got Joe Willett, you've got Hall, Livermore, Trippier.
We've got abundance of them.
I mean, we are one of those teams that we are predominantly English anyway.
Yeah.
You know, in the first team playing squad. So we haven't got any danger. That goalkeepers is fine. The one that, and Mark's talked about this a little bit when we talked about the potential selling Sean Longstaff.
Yeah.
Is the the train at the club players.
Yes.
Because if you lose Sean Longstaff, then you're losing someone who would fit that, and that's probably the trickiest one to fill. Because a lot of it is, and as a result of PSR, Elliot Anderson would have been perfect for it. but because we had to sell him to PSR, we're further restricted in that
And
regard.
you need 4 of them.
Yeah. So you need 4 players.
So at this
You
moment in
could have-
time, we have, as a senior player,
Yep.
Longstaff, Miley. Does he fall into that one?
Well, Miley can, but because he's under 21,
He doesn't have
doesn't
to.
need to be registered.
Right.
So if you were battling into the corner and you had to do 4, you
Could use Miley.
you could use them though, right?
Well, you could, but it'd be no benefit really, because you could have 24 men. You could have 25 players. Well,
Oh, so hang on.
If you only have
It's not minimum. It's maximum 25.
Yeah.
So you could do 20 if you wanted.
yeah, you could have
Right,
20
I've got you.
players,
Right, I've got you.
and then if you didn't have any players that were training at the club, you could have a 21-man squad, and then the under 21s would be, which is Miley would be one, Lewis Hall I think would be one, Neve Joe White when he comes back would be one. Who's the fullback Shahar. I think it's quite highly rated as
But
well.
so if you do it for see you did that 24 players, right?
Yeah.
But only 3 of them are trained at the club.
Yeah.
Are you not breaking the rules here because you need 4?
No,
Oh,
because
you're not.
Because
It drops down.
that unclaimed squad space theoretically can
the
be for
punishment.
them.
it's like a pass.
I suppose
It's a
you could look at it as
it's a-
being a punishment of sorts, yeah.
Ah, okay, I've got you right. Okay.
But
Oh,
yeah,
well
that's
then.
kind of.
Got balls to the fucking wall, and we'll just have a 20-man squad.
Yeah,
but
you
we'll have we'll have.
I mean, we probably didn't have a
Suppose the
20-man
kids.
squad last time, to be honest with you. The amount of injuries we had and stuff. But yeah, like I say that the homegrown players is fine. The goalkeepers is fine, and I guess we're going to talk about potential.
So yeah, this is the reason why we decided to do this topic, because it was only a couple of weeks ago. There was a post going around in regards to Premier League players that are out of contract in the summer, and there's a couple of names that cropped up there, and one of them, of course, it's going to be a goalkeeper, and we went down the route of the goalkeeper at this moment in time. This is before what we know what's happened now, and it was Fraser Forster. Sorry, that was he's covering the Spurs.
Spurs. Yeah.
So say he's out of contract. So people are saying, right, we've got a million goalkeepers, and it looks like it's Ruddy and Gillespie, I believe it is, that are out of contract this summer.
Possibly, yeah.
So
Ruddy
again,
definitely
right. So it seems like kind of a no-brainer to bring in somebody like Forster to fulfill one of those things which were mentioned in regards to club trained players. And there's a nice little tick in your box straight away.
Yeah.
Okay. But then in the last couple of days as well, it looks like Tim Krul.
Well, there's 4 potential, isn't it? There's Fraser Forster, Tim Krul, Jack Anik, and the one who went to Preston, Freddie Woodman. So they I think, are all out of contract at the moment. Theoretically, if you bring in, you're not going to sign all 4, are you? But if Ruddy and Gillespie are out of contract, I don't see the harm in bringing in Krul, Fraser Forster. Well, and 2 of those 4.
Yeah, just replace 2.
And then there you go. Then you've got
actually Quota filled.
You've got Nick Pope in goal, or James Trafford if he ends up signing, or whoever. Dubravka if he stays, and then straight away you've got 2 of those spots filled. So if Sean Longstaff's kind of anticipated that he might go this summer, that's not as onerous as it might otherwise be, because it means that we've already got that. We've got Lewis Miley who could tick that box. We've got Lewis Hall, I believe, if that's right. Ian made a point in WhatsApp earlier. James Milner's out of contract as well, but we signed him when he was already 18, so he wouldn't. Unfortunately, I don't know what he would give you in the first team anymore because he's 40 years old. But again, I keep saying I'm a sentimental man. I would mind seeing Milner one more time in the black and white. But
well, you could be quite sentimental about a few of the players, to be fair. But let's stick with the goalkeepers, because it's a transfer window, and this is what we do.
Did I tell you about the time I met Fraser Forster?
No, you didn't.
I met Fraser Forster once.
Yeah, tell us about it.
We lived when me and Amy lived in Norwich. He was alone at Wickham at the time. Was Fraser?
Oh, you have told us that.
I'm going to tell you
in a lift,
because in the lift, yeah. We didn't have it. We lived with one of Amy's colleagues who had a fridge but not a freezer, and I wanted fish fingers, man. So, we'd moved by this point. We'd moved out of Heath's house and we lived in our place, but I wanted fish fingers. We didn't have a fridge freezer, so Roger brought it down for her all along because it's from Cheshire, so it's not really. And he stayed in the hotel in the corner of Carrow Road. So we met him in there, had a few drinks. The fridge freezer's been dropped off by this point. It's not just there in a hotel bar. It's just big, it's full of fish fingers and whatnot. And we put Roger. I said, "I'll take you in your room, Roger." So we're in the lift, and Fraser Forster walks in, and he's absolutely enormous. I'm a big, tall man, lovely big, tall lad. Fraser Forster's huge.
There's not much space left in that lift, is there?
I mean, Roger's a tall bloke. Amy's 6'2" as well. Like this lift is creaking. It's creaking. The little bloke. Oh, Jesus Christ, is taking. So, but he's a very tall man. Didn't talk to him. I was starstruck. Bear in mind now, he's like 17, 18 at this point. He just got on loan to Norwich. He was at Wickham for a bit, then Norwich took him on. It didn't seem to be how it worked that time.
I got starstruck once at Carrow Road.
And I remember
Is that when you met me?
That's when I met Jamal Lascelles, and I just said thank you to him, didn't I, Dicker?
No, that's
That
nice.
was embarrassing.
Just went, thank you.
Have you done yourselves?
I was embarrassed.
And
And
I
on
remember-
Valentine's Day, it was.
I went the wrong way and I actually bumped into Ruddy. And it's mad, isn't it? I would have never thought, I'd say to him, I'll see you in
10 years
you'll
later.
be at our place.
Was that when I saw you in the coach and horse before
It
the
was,
game?
yeah. It was that day.
Lisa used to teach Fraser Forster's daughter.
Okay.
And when he went up to Scotland, she like come in with flowers and a card and that. It was like, my daddy's off to play football somewhere else, so I'm off, basically. But yeah.
But it could be full circle. So if we look at the 4 goalkeepers, we've got Krul, Forster, Woodman, Anik.
Mhm.
Right? I'm binning off Woodman and Anik straight away.
Yeah, I probably think that's
Okay.
fair, yeah.
So if we narrow it down to the 2 goalkeepers, and do you know what it is? Take it with a pinch of salt, because it could just be the same thing what's happened to the likes of Ruddy and Gillespie, where they're just there.
Oh, I don't think,
Karaoke singers.
I mean, I think if any of them sign, Tim Krul's 40 as well now, so he's not going to be, I don't think he's going to be
He's
troubling.
there to tick a box.
Yeah,
basically.
he's there as a, yeah.
But if you had to pick one, Digger, which one are you going with?
Probably Tim Krul.
Is that for sentimental reasons?
No, I watched Fraser Forster play like in my heavens above. It was, and to be fair, actually, he made some decent-ish saves, but
He had a nice little patch, didn't he?
They've
Forster
got
at one
career at
point.
Celtic.
Yeah.
Went- yeah.
it was at Spurs. It was the Spurs game when I was watching him. I just think Krul. It probably is sentimental. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, I'm going to say sentimental because Krul was one of the shining lights in a really bad time, and it would be nice for him to come back. And he's never going to play a game anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? To be fair.
Yeah, I think Fraser Forster's probably the better. I mean, Krul wasn't getting a game for Luton. They got relegated out of Championship last season. So, but Fraser Forster, I think is probably the better keeper at the moment. But again, Krul from his debut in Palermo, when he came on against West Brom in the Championship when Harper got injured first game of the season, when Damien Duff scored
game.
Oh, yeah,
that Spurs game.
Spurs one.
I maintain every save he made in that game he should have made, mind.
Young and
you've
Beyonce
still got
saved him at one point as
Yeah,
well.
it was great clearance. And he's had the same haircut since he was 16 as well.
Curtains eye.
Bring him home for me, like I always felt a bit sad. I thought
dropped off, didn't
I
he?
thought he was a brilliant goalkeeper to start with. Question marks over his kicking, which isn't exactly unique for a Newcastle goalkeeper. But he did tail off. He had a really bad injury before he went to Ajax on loan, and the Chris Packard hands stuff and all that. Like I thought was a little bit
Shots
hard.
were just going
bit
through,
harsh,
no,
but-
weren't they?
Holocrol.
Just going
I
through.
love the
Holocrol.
Holocrol one.
Yeah. They were just going through him. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make any difference. Like, 'cause he's never going to play. He's just going to fill the void of the karaoke singer and the cone guy.
Speaking
So
of
it's fine.
karaoke singer, okay, is the karaoke singer something which is being documented across the fan base, or has it just been in this room?
Oh, just me.
It's-
Just
it's-
me.
I don't know
Right.
what you're talking about, really.
So
No, I'm.
Decker kept on referring to Gillespie as a karaoke singer.
He just gives
Have
it-
you seen?
Yeah, I know. I've seen this. Yeah,
Have you seen the post that his girlfriend or wife put on?
when he's doing karaoke.
No,
Oh, sorry. I've
So-
heard something about karaoke. though.
I might be completely wide of the mark here, but you put a post on of them on the pitch the last game of the season. Like a
Just
family
gone there.
photo.
I've heard it. Yeah.
Like family photo, blah blah. And it was like proud of everything you do on and off the field. Then there's a microphone, and I'm thinking, has something landed where he's being referred to as the karaoke singer because of you?
Well, honestly, I think Roy Keane said it about someone ages and ages and ages ago. Basically, like, what does he do?
Like a cheerleader.
What does he do? Does he
Ah,
think is he
I've
good at
heard-
karaoke?
Yeah,
And I just then, just as a joke, just said it in here because, like, what does he actually do? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's mental. But yeah, so that's all Krul's going to do. You know, what I mean, really, he's going to come back, but I think he'll be good around the place. And you know, if you've got to do it to fill a quota, then you've got to do
I
it.
know Howe likes to have at least 4 goalkeepers as well because of training and stuff like that. So if it becomes to pass that, I mean, I think I said the other week, all 5 keepers that we have could leave this summer. Pope could go if we get Trafford in. Dubravka, how happy he nearly left in January. Second choice again,
I
most
definitely
likely.
think he'll be away.
Vlachodimos, whatever he
Vlachodimos,
is.
I don't think he's got any future at the club. Gillespie and Ruddy, what do they offer apart from being good in training, being nice lads, maybe?
Karaoke singers.
Ruddy. So you could find out next season we've got a totally different lineup of goalkeepers. In which case, one of those coming in, I think, makes perfect sense. Maybe 2 of them. Who knows?
Do you think it would stick with the link with Krul, though? It adds a bit extra because of how long he spent at the club as well.
He was number 1, wasn't he, for a spell? You know, and that's one thing with like Jack Anik. He come in, he elbowed Diego Costa in the face at one time, but whilst getting the ball, it wasn't a foul. Freddie Woodman, I thought it looked. I don't want to call him I don't want to say he
was too.
He wasn't ready.
Too
It was
for
too much for him. The
Yeah.
Premier League it had that game at Old Trafford. I remember when Ronaldo got a couple in, but
Yeah.
it wasn't good. Fraser Forster didn't really play for. We played a pre-season game.
A lot of fans wanted him to get a chance as well.
I did. Between him and Krul, it was a bit like Given and Harper. Obviously, I don't think the same quality as Given and Harper at the time, but I've looking at them both coming through. I thought, well, he could probably there's higher ring on them both because they're similar. But Krul played. It must be a couple hundred games for her, that he made that debut in Palermo with Luke A. His debut was Lucas scored, didn't he? I believe. Andy Carroll's debut was as well. Same day in that blue and black. And it was just Krul's got that kind of like when Pav came back, kind of thing about it, which I'm on board with. Pav had a similar haircut as well when he came back. So.
I'm fine with it. I just, is what it is. I just, it's not the room I wanted to open my phone up to today. Like I was wanting, let's get moving here.
But was off to Man United.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
cool. Not giving me link with anybody else. And Tim Krul's coming back.
Like when Eddie Howe was on Sunday going, I'm going upstairs to talk about transfers. I was not expecting the first one to be Chris Packard.
I know Scott put a list in. We're going to mention this, Chris. The list that Scott put in the chat earlier.
Go ahead with it, mate. Yeah.
I don't want to trap me out.
No, go ahead with it. Oh, it hurt my eyes when I was trying to read it.
So there's possibilities. There's a list. Realistic targets.
So Scott's put this into AI, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, is it AI?
I'm guessing it is.
I might be wrong then. So I've got Adam Armstrong as a possibility. Obviously trained at the club for 3 years. He's out of contract at Southampton. No, he's at West Brom now, isn't he?
I've got no idea.
I think he's at West Bromwich Albion now. Yeah, James Tavernier had a great career up at Rangers. Daniel Barlaser. I don't know where he is now. Borough for a bit. Fraser Forster, Tim Krul, Freddie Woodman. Oh, that's it. All right. So basically, it's Adam Armstrong, James Tavernier, and Dan Barlaser.
Barlaser.
Yeah, sorry, Dan. You're watching. And again, there's not really. I think that's one.
But I think the issue is, I think Eddie Howe said that he likes a lot of keepers to help with the likes of training and set up when the drills are going on as well. So I think it's a no-brainer. I can see it happening.
I think we might get a couple. Yeah. I wouldn't be astonished if we got one or maybe two of them in. Is Freddie Woodman's dad still at the club, or did he leave?
He's gone.
He's gone, is he?
What, as in Newcastle?
Yeah.
He went a long time ago, didn't he?
Pay attention.
If there's two going, there'll be two coming in.
Yeah.
100% if that is the case. And I'm not saying it'll be both of them necessarily, but they'll definitely be one of them. Because it makes sense if they're out of contract. Krul's going to be more than reasonable in terms of what he's going to get paid. He's going to be more than that.
Wasn't Woodman not managing one of the teams that were just played in the cup?
He was.
Yeah, I think it might be Bromley.
Yeah, it was.
Bromley.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, Bromley.
So he's not there.
I didn't know. After all.
But yeah, I'm going to end it there. Let us know what you think. If you would not necessarily be excited, but if you would be accepting the arrival of Tim Krul or Fraser Forster.
Do you think we'll lose Pope and Dubravka, or one of them, or none of them?
One of them. And I don't know which one.
Yeah, it depends. If, as appears to be reported, Trafford comes in, I don't think he comes in as number 2. Not like right back. I mean, like, so I think, and it would make. I really like Nick Pope as well. I like Nick Pope a lot. He's kicking, we all know, but I think he's a phenomenal goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So I'll be sad to lose him, but I could see the merit in if we get Trafford in to get a few £1 million off it. Say, Nick, you want to go back to Burnley and kind of, because I had a good little run there. I love Nick Pope. I'd be sad to see him go. I really would. He just seems like a nice lad as well.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I think it probably is one of the ones. I don't think it's high on the priority list. I don't think it's there. But I think it's one of those things. If the option comes available, the club go for it.
I agree.
Whether that's Pope going to bring someone in, like you said, Bestie, or the links with Trafford.
They've been doing that for a couple of years now with Trafford. I think every window I've been told that this is the one.
They're not budging.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everybody. Like I said at the very start, this one has gone out early access to members as well. You can become a member. It is just $2.99 a month to do that. If not, just like the video, become a subscriber. It costs you nothing to do that. But yeah, we'll see you next time. What you doing? Ta-ra.
Bye. Oh, my bowels.